So I wanted to take a second to talk about another theory that I have. And you can take this one with a grain of salt if you want to do that. But I figured it would be at least worth mentioning. So when these things start happening, initially when these things start happening, whoa, that's a huge rat. Your first response might be to sort of brush it off and pay it no mind. And I think that what I feel like you should probably do in that situation is not just brush it off, but assume that it's only a select group of people who are involved in the operation, because what generally will happen is that you will initially start off with a small group of people, and they will basically harass you to the point where you start assuming that every little slight that happens to you is part of their operation, and you make enemies that may or may not have been involved in the stalking. And it's hard to know whether the people that you live around are all involved or if it's just a select group of people. And once you start reacting to them negatively, it sort of snowballs, and you start reacting to everybody negatively, and every single thing that happens becomes a misunderstanding, and the support for the gang stalkers grows, and then you get like a toxic reputation. So basically, what I'm saying is that it may not have started off as a community thing. You could have dealt with a group of sociopaths, evil people, whether they're demonic or whatever. I'll let you make up your mind about that. But a group of evil people who basically harass you and sensitize you to pretty much everything. After they've done their magic, you go out into the world, and everything that happens sort of that you feel isn't right becomes a slight against you, and you react emotionally to stuff, and you make enemies that may or may not have been involved in stalking in the first place. But after you've already made enemies with everybody, then everybody legitimately turns against you. So I'm not saying that it's that the entire community is not involved, but I'm saying that initially, at least, it could have been a small group of evil people. And once they sort of harassed you and poked enough, it grew from that. So it's important to not assume, and in the very beginning stages of the operation, it's important to not assume that every single person is out to get you. You should probably assume the best. And unless you have concrete evidence that it's not really like that, you should assume the best. You just assume that a person, there was a misunderstanding. A person's not out to get you, but there was a misunderstanding. So I just figured I would make a quick video to address that. And like I said, I just give you guys theories. I'll allow you to decide for yourself what's actually happening.